Hello, we are back. As you probably noticed, I am solo at the moment, but the master of the esoteric will be joining very, very soon. But before we jump into it, let me say hey to everybody, because I see you guys. We've got the author himself, we've got a Dagger Outlaw, hello. We've got our favourite vampire, Nosferatu. And let's see who else. We've got the lovely Gun Bunny, hello. We've got Psycho Dwarf 9, great to see you. We've got Daniel, hello Daniel, hope you're having a great day. We've got Mr. Batsu, good evening to you, I hope you're having a good one. Let's see, we've got Rod Thunderheart in the chat as well. We've got the lovely Leia Rose. Hello, Leia. Good afternoon. Good to see you. And kicking it off, we have got from Daniel. Thank you. He sends us a super chat. Thank you so much, Daniel. He says, cannot wait for the Valkyrie von Dumet to rule. I love that. When Salty first made that, I laughed so hard. So thank you. Thank you so much. It is great to see everybody. Hope you're doing well. Apologies for having to move it back a day. Your Valkyrie was feeling a little bit under the weather last night, but we are back, we are kicking, and it is woo-woo time. And hello to E. Stevens, great to see you. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And hello to the lovely Apollonie's minion, hey sweetheart, and smile a while for me. Ladies, good to see you. So, I am going to kick things off with something a little bit weird, and you guys know we like cooking. We talk about cooking a few times in this show, but would you guys eat this? When I saw this, I was like, yeah, there's only one way that this can go, and it's going to end badly. So let's see what they've got to say. Apparently, meatballs from a long extinct mammoth have been created by a food farm. Yeah, not a good idea. An Australian company resurrects the flesh of a lost species to demonstrate potential of meat-grown cells. You can see where this is going, can't you guys? So let's see what they've actually done. So a mammoth meatball has been created by a cultivated meat company. Oh God. Resurrecting the flesh from the long extinct animals. The project aims to demonstrate the potential of meat grown from cells. A absolutely terrible idea. Anybody who knows anything about that will be able to tell you. So the project aims to do this without the slaughter of animals and to highlight the link between the large-scale livestock production and destruction of wildlife. And there it is. You knew that was going to happen. Climate crisis. You knew it was going to be about climate as soon as they brought in something like this. But the mammoth meatball was produced by Vow, an Australian company, which is taking a different approach to cultured meat. Yeah, this is incredibly cultured meat. There are scores of companies working on replacements for conventional meat, such as chicken, pork, and beef, but Vow is aiming to mix and match cells from unconventional species to create a new kind of meat. So they're making Frankenstein meat, basically. The company has already investigated the potential of more than 50 species, including alpaca, buffalo, crocodile, kangaroo, peacocks, and different types of fish. I really hope they don't mash all of those together, because God knows what we're going to get. The first cultivated meat to be sold to diners will be Japanese quail, which the company expects will be in restaurants in Singapore this year. We'll see. We have a behavior change problem when it comes to meat consumption, said George Peppo, the CEO of VOW. The goal is to transition a few billion meat eaters away from eating conventional animal protein to eating things that can be produced in electrified systems. Yeah, I'm going to jump back and see what you guys are saying, and I'm going to bring in someone who is also somewhat of an expert when it comes to cooking, and I know has a strong opinion of this. It is the man himself, Salty Travelling Sea. How are you doing, Salty?
Just great. I love my job. It is so fulfilling. The people I work with are empathetic, human. They really know how to communicate effectively, and they take ownership of the things that they do wrong. You know what I find fascinating about all of these articles I was listening to about the mammoth meatball is somebody somewhere that you don't know, that you've never met, has decided that you are bad. Your very existence is bad. However, theirs is a blessing, that they are entitled with the divine right to say that there are too many people on the planet, not them, that you should not drive a car, but they should, that you should not that you should all use renewable energy except for them, and that you shouldn't eat meat and you should eat bugs, asterisks, except for them, right? And the other thing is that communism is going to work now.
Absolutely.
But not for them. And here we are, and everybody's just pretending that this is normal. So when they talk about adapting this and changing lifestyles, what that really means is all of you useless people who will not buy the bullshit about the climate and about communism working and about all of these things. You want to be your own country, whether it's Ireland or the UK or France or Italy or Spain or, God forbid, the United States. What we need to do is destroy you from the inside. We need to destroy who and what you are. We need to make sure that your children are mutilated and don't know that there's only a boy and a girl. And then we need to feed you bugs, which are toxic, and all of this other shit. And oh yes, you shouldn't have cars. You can't even have clean running water, and you certainly can't have railroads. But by all means, get your venture capital pedo boys together and talk about bullshit like this while hiding all of the evidence you were at Jeffrey's Island. Hi, Purple. How's it going?
Hey, Salty. How you doing?
I had a couple things to say. I'm gonna take a drink of coffee.
That was the case. But yeah, you know and I know, and we've talked about this, and the chats are absolutely lighting it up. This is a absolutely horrendous idea to synthesize meat, and it's not even meat. It is a meat byproduct.
This is a true story. I didn't cover this article in the past because I wanted to do more research, but according to the numerous articles that I've looked at, this is not meat. How they're creating fake meat, which isn't meat, is by cloning cancer cells. These are cloned cancer cells, which produce this Play-Doh-like consistency of something that they stick red dye number 5 in to marbleize it, okay? And this is like 1950s bad science fiction special effects quality food, which isn't food that they're giving you. But the important part here is if it's not made out of dead bugs, with chitin, which human beings cannot ingest and causes chitin toxicity, CHITIN, look it up, kids, then you're going to eat the cancer cell derived, not meat. Why? Because there's too many people on a planet.
Absolutely. I think this quote here kind of sums exactly what Salty's saying. Says, we believe the best way to do that is to invent meat. We look for cells that are easy to grow. What's easy to grow? Well, exactly
cancer! Cancer's easy to grow!
Really
tasty. How many boosters you got?
Yes.
Look up the clinical research in the New England Journal of Medicine and numerous medical papers. Don't believe an asshole like me on the internet. Look it up. Cancer is through the roof. We're talking rapidly evolving through the roof. cancer after getting all of those stick, which didn't work. That must just be an accident. Let's just be an accident.
This entire article is just a gold mine for ridiculous comments. So it says we chose the woolly mammoth because it's a symbol of diversity loss and a symbol of climate change. The creature is thought to be driven to extinction by hunting by humans and the warming of the world after the Ice Age.
Bullshit. Bullshit. So, they're consistent here in one way, that everything that they're saying is complete and utter bullshit, okay? Fuck, I'm just having that kind of a week. Sorry, I'm going to calm down.
But as you said, this is an absolutely terrible thing. So they are doing pretty much what they did in the Jurassic Park films. They are filling the gaps of the DNA sequences that they have with the mammoth DNA, and they're also filling gaps with elephant DNA as well. So it is quite literally a Frankenstein meat. Please, guys, if you get the opportunity, don't eat it. Please, just say no. Just have a steak instead. You'll thank us for it, I promise.
I swear to God. I wonder if we ask Robert Meyer Burnett what he thinks of this, what he'll say. Oh, he went there. How's it going, Purple? Sorry I'm a couple minutes late. Hey. I haven't been on social media very much because I'm busy doing like real life stuff in my job, and I turn around and there's apparently some flame war between one YouTuber and then another guy who said Picard season 3 is like the best thing ever, and I'm like, I got real shit to worry about. But it's fascinating to watch these things all kind of explode. And yeah, and I'm not doing videos on this bullshit because Picard is not Star Trek, and surprise, it's not that good, and all that other stuff, which is why I'm not even talking about it, because it's not Star Trek, is it?
Can I give a shout out to a couple more people, because we've got some awesome people in the chat. We've got Davina Duckworth, great to see you. Hello there. We've got Keck44, welcome to you.
Hail.
We've got Clubbering Times, hey Clubby. We've got Amanda Minefrin, great to see you. And dude, I'm sure I missed somebody. I'm so sorry if I missed you guys. The chat is jumping on me, but it's good. And we've got Nosferatu, our favorite vampire. Good to see you.
My box wine brother.
Connoisseur.
Franzia, forever, baby. Baby. Oh, baby.
And a big thank you to Daniel as well. Thank you so much, Daniel. He sent us $5 and he said, it's Flintstone. Silent Mammoth really is Fred Flintstone.
Oh, God. Carcinoma. Meet the carcinomas. Have a yabba dabba do time. A dabba do time. Fuck you, Bill Gates. I don't care anymore. Hail to you, Daniel. You know what's better than fake mammoth meatballs?
What is better than fake meat mammoth?
2,000 mummified ram's heads. That's what's better. Look at how tasty and delicious this is. These were found recently at a temple in Egypt by an archaeological mission. Now, they found a jaw-dropping discovery, and this is in the temple of King Ramses II in some town I can't pronounce in Egypt. The team unearthed 2,000 mummified and decomposing ram's heads dating back to the Ptolemaic era, which I thought to have been votive offerings to the pharaoh. This indicates the continuation of Ramses II's sanctification for over 1,000 years after his death. Now, I think those numbers are greater. Yeah. So this is, go ahead, Purple.
Oh no, I'm just agreeing with you, but I want 2,000 ram's heads. I could think of things that I could do with that.
Well, Christmas is coming, put it in chat. Maybe somebody will get it for you. So here's what we got here. Now, there was this guy, I don't know, the Supreme Council of Archaeology in Egypt said that the mission uncovered a number of other mummified areas, including the ram's heads. They had goats, wild goats. What's the difference? Cows, deer, and they also had the mummified skull of an ostrich. Because why? It's like somebody went to the IKEA of mummified animals and went a little ape shit.
No mammoths, though.
Now, these were all stored in the warehouse of the temple, and this temple site goes back to, I think it's around 200 BC, because Ramses ruled around 1200 BC. For those of you who don't know what BC means, it's before Jesus Christ. So there we go. So, the whole mummification thing, You're in the desert, everything's going to dry out anyway. But a lot of people believe this, and I don't know if it's true, that they mummified not just animals, but people because they wanted to preserve them for their trip to the heavens. Now, there's a lot of anecdotal evidence that indicates that the pyramids, which are way older than that, they're going to admit that they believe that the soul would take a journey going up through what was the Great River. Now, the Great River in the sky was the Milky Way. So it's fascinating. I don't know why they wanted to send 2,000 Rams to Ramses in space, but they're Egyptians and it was a couple thousand years ago. So yeah, I just thought this was cool. You know, this isn't the first time they found a bunch of ram's heads. Of course, back in 2009, they found a tomb with 50 mummified rams at Karnak and Luxor. And they actually found a mummified ram with gilded horns and an intricate collar. That's a little kinky in an ancient cemetery. However, the recent discovery of 2,000 ram's heads is the largest of its kind in Egypt. Many of these heads were decorated and used as offerings. So there you go. I'm going to pull up a couple more pictures. Look at that. Look, who wouldn't want that in their living
adorable.
room?
Look
Look at that. The mummy of a ram made by packing up its bones. Look at that. The horns were exposed, wrapped in linen. Oh, wow. It's better work than the MCU's special effects team. I can tell you that. But yeah, that's where it was found. Let's see if we've got any more pictures. Oh, yeah. And then look, there's hieroglyphics because whenever you talk about Egypt, you have to have hieroglyphs. So I just thought that was wild. Would you rather have mammoth meatballs or 2,000 ram's heads?
I'll take
that
the
might be a little overdone.
Heads.
A little overdone.
Got a little bit of jerky attached to them. Yeah, if I can think of a
jerky.
And Nosferatu agrees. He says every Scottish person is salivating for multiple reasons looking at this. True story.
That'd be a very dry haggis, my friend. You might want to open up a tin of beans, Governor, and pour a tin of beans on top. To just might be a little over dry.
Beans with haggis
on your bonnet.
Philistine. And let me say hello to the lovely Sherry. She says they were mummified to allow the beloved pets to go to the afterlife, to provide food in the afterlife, or to act as offerings to a particular god.
She's right. That's
very cool.
That's what they've been saying. I'm not saying that it's not right or that Sherry's not right. I'm just saying there are probably some other explanations that are starting to emerge or that may be commingled with that, you know?
And let me say hello to I Talk Cryptids. Great to see you. And Geek Strong. Hello, guys.
Hail, hail, hail.
Look at this amazing chat we've got today. So, since we are bringing the A game with these awesome things, let me bring up one that I found. And you know how much we like videos. This one's got a video.
Ooh,
we
porn.
love videos.
Is it porn?
It's not, no.
Oh, damn it.
It's not that kind of show yet.
Yet.
But this comes from our friends at Paranormally Magazine. Thank you, guys. And this is a relatively recent one. This is supposedly a demon dog that was captured on camera. So a little bit of backstory before I show the video. This is the alleged entity. It was picked up on camera in a dark woodland path, as you do, in Clumber Park in Nottinghamshire. So it says, as Hannah and David Rowlett strolled with their canines at approximately 6:30 in the morning, an unexpected yet powerful sensation that they were not alone suddenly engulfed Hannah. Excitedly, she yanked out her phone and quickly recorded a blurred figure that was walking ahead of them. Upon rewatching, she shuddered to think that this could be tangible proof of the supernatural world beyond. Very tantalizing. Would you like to see the video, guys?
More than you could possibly imagine, and I'm speaking for everyone in chat who's 7 seconds behind. So yes.
Good. So I've turned the volume off, obviously, because YouTube reasons. But let's see what they captured on film, shall we?
Okay.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, let's see it again. You got to go back. Oh.
So
it looks like a ghost of a monkey. That's the way it looks. It
looks
like the ghost of a monkey.
It's Gollum looking for the ring. But yeah, it just kind of looks like it's walking across the path in front of them. It's very strange.
You know what that is? I think it's either really cold out or somebody was smoking a J and was blowing it out like Gandalf.
Yeah,
Guys in
that's what
chat,
it
tell
is.
me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong. Remember when like you got Bilbo, they're having a pipe, and Bilbo's like he does the smoke ring, right? And then you got Gandalf, who's like, I'm gonna do a masted ship, right? And sorry, my light's all screwed up. I'm redoing all my lighting, so I may look a little pink, which is not code for anything gay at all. But the hell was I talking about? But that just looks like somebody was like, I'm gonna like do the Gandalf ship smoke blowing thing, and then I'm gonna do it like 800 times. I'm gonna do it 800 times until I get something that looks like it's supernaturally, and then I'm gonna post it on where the hell was that from? TikTok or some other Chinese owned spyware bullshit site thing, or where was that
Most
from?
likely that they put that on TikTok. Yeah, I
Okay.
think that she just uploaded it. But yeah, I mean, I guess.
What is chat saying? I mean, maybe I'm just being an asshole today. I mean, because it's Thursday, it's been a long week. I've had it with a lot of things today. Say that. Nothing toward anybody here. That's not what it is. It's just, you may have noticed the world is losing its effing mind, and it's just getting weirder and weirder. And virtually everyone I know is under stress. They're having relationship problems, they're having money problems. Their kids are being told to chop things on or sew things off. Like they're losing their shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I live in a small town by choice for this reason. When the apocalypse happens, this is not the place you're going to want to come. Just going to say that, because everybody kind of loves their Second Amendment and their First Amendment. So, surrounded in a sea of blue assholes. We'll just say that. But
Chat seem to like what they see. Keck44 says it's swamp gas. Could very well be. I talked to Cryptids has a question for you though. Says off topic, but is that a Bilbo figure on the left of Salty? Big Tolkien fan.
Yes. That's a 1/6 scale. That Purple Valkyrie, when I met her at the Dallas Fan Con last June, because she's very wee, she's like, Purple Valkyrie's actually this tall in real life.
True story.
She found something that was under a table, and Salty's like, I'm 6'5", right? So she actually saw this, and the box was all sun damaged, and it looks like, somebody had been chain smoking cigars for 20 years, because how it looks. But I will show it if you want. Hold on.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me
and I dropped it. And I think I just lost Sting. All right, here we go.
Oh no.
I know. There we go.
Oh, I love this, and it's such a good likeness as well.
It is. It's really the articulation is fantastic. But yeah, I don't show this off very often, but you can find these, but they were not, and they're hard plastic. I have a lot of the Lord of the Rings 1/6 scale, which were kind of the dolls, but all their clothing is really cloth, and it's really retro. But this guy, he's got like it's a leathery coat. The pants are kind of leathery, but it's got a cool sting. It has a scabbard, but it's got a pretty darn good likeness. And I'm trying to get the white balance to balance out.
Yes, it really does look like Martin Freeman.
And look at that. Yeah, there you go. Ha! My precious.
And the chat are lighting up as well. Nosferatu says the only thing that pisses me off about Salty is that he's taller than me.
Ah, Jesus! I just knocked everything off. Thanks a
lot.
No! You'll have to cover Purple, because I've got a Lord of the Rings figure emergency.
Oh no! We've got a figure avalanche.
Yeah.
Roman asks, Salty and or Purple, will you be in Vegas next month for the meetup? Unfortunately, I won't be. I mean, I'd like to visit Vegas eventually, but yeah, I can't get time off work at the moment, unfortunately.
I didn't even know about it, so no. Oh god. Well, I lost my Predator figure. Thanks a lot, Cryptids.
And Daniel says,
I'm just kidding.
Exaggerating about being 6'5". He's 6'3", and he had to look up when he met him in Dallas.
I know it's crazy. I mean, to meet everybody, and you realize like so many dudes like in fandom are tall, and there's a lot of tall women too. Like, oh god, I'm blanking. Remember the really pretty girl? She's really kind. God, what's
Megan.
Megan.
Yeah,
Megan. She's like 5'10". She's a total sweetheart too. I met her. So yeah, it was cool, to get hugs from like these big burly nerd dudes, and no, I'm not going next month. I I am thinking about Dallas, but I am thinking about some other things too. Just because I have to kind of pick and choose what I'm going to do with that, because work until the end of July, I am committed to the most insane, criminally insane organization I've ever worked for in my life, and it's killing me. So after that, we can talk about doing stuff, but right now I'm busy trying to not be sucked into the maelstrom of absolute corporate dysfunction. You know what happened in March of 2020, in 2 weeks to slow the spread? All the people who didn't want to get poison put in them, including me. A lot of people got ultimatums within healthcare and other organizations. Now, a lot of those people said, kiss my ass and walked. I was one of them. Okay. Doesn't make me a hero. Just means I got lines. I got a boundary. Fuck off, you know? So what you saw within a lot of corporate structures, whether it be banking, entertainment, okay, healthcare, food service, education, is if you didn't want to just be the slave who's told what to do and you quit, you had a distillation of people who were, in my experience, not very good at calling things out. And particularly, and I've talked with other people, Amanda Manethran, there are other people that we talk about, a variety of industries, which a lot of people who didn't have power before and weren't very capable became tyrants. And with what I'm seeing currently, I'm seeing a lot of tyrants who, by God, these are the people that in the 80s were the people John Hughes made fun of. And now they're in charge of everything. They really are. And you kind of see it in our entertainment, that bitch made victimhood bullshit, passive aggressive stuff. But 9 hours a day, I'm dealing with it, and it gets dear man salty. But you're not here for that. To hear me talk about how I'm menstruating, you don't give a shit about that. You're here to talk about woo-woo.
Woo-woo, indeed. And let me say hello to Decepticon's Cave of Comics and Toys. Great to see you. We've got TZ Burton. Good to see you as well. Let's see who else we've got, because you guys are going crazy in the chat. Smile a while says, I'm short, but I don't think I'm as short as Purple. She's 5'3". You're 2 inches taller than I am.
She's this tall. She's not as tall as Bilbo is back there. She's not even 1/6 scale. She's like 1/20th, you know?
And I thought Cryptid says, just sub to Salty's channel. Love that more people are waking up. And like Lord of the Rings, you've come to the right place.
Well, reach out to me if you got a channel. I always like hanging out and talking with people. I know Daniel, and I want to shout out Daniel. He made a very courageous video on everybody's favorite thing that's dividing our fandom. And if you don't like it, you're part of the problem. Where have we heard that one before? Star Trek Picard. And I'm one of those dissenting voices, but Daniel put out a very impassioned plea talking about his views on this. He's got some great takes on it. You don't have to agree with it, but I think analytically what we need to look at here, and this is Daniel's point, is that there's always been a lot of room for disagreement in our fandoms. And not only that, but with woo-woo. Okay, David Politis from Missing 411 has one take on Bigfoot and aliens. Other people have other ones. Okay, there are countless people who are going to tell you this is real, that's not what ancient aliens, Anunnaki, all this, right? Yes. Okay, but to sit there and like call other people full of shit and say you're not really a ufologist, or you're not really a Bigfoot fan, or you're not really a Lord of the Rings fan, or you're all like divide. We're starting to see that in this little corner over here. Like, you got to be team million subscriber channel or team 500,000 subscriber channel, and you have to pair it what team 500,000 subscriber channel says. And it's like, fuck off, dude. Maybe it's me because I'm old. Like, I'm old. I don't do that shit. I had to be a nerd in the 80s. We didn't have this. I mean, we had a VIC-20 with a cassette drive in BASIC, but we used to get shamed and attacked for playing Dungeons and Dragons, and not the one with pronouns, real Dungeons and Dragons, okay? In Gamma World, and watching our nerd shit, okay? And now, even with the power of all of this and social media, there are still people that are like, well, all this shit talk. And it's like, you know what? I don't like everything. If I don't like something, I'm going to tell you why I don't like it. But I'm not going to tell you that you have to like something that I like. And if you don't, you're X, Y, and Z. And I'm starting to see that. You know, I have a lot of problems with this.
The whole point of being nerds was that we didn't do that.
And you're like the double, triple, super Mac Daddy, super secret, Purple Valkyrie, okay? beautiful, smart, funny, nerd chick. Okay? Like, think about that one, Sausage Party nerddom. Okay? Like, what do you think about that, Purple? I'm sitting here mansplaining, so why don't you sit here and purple splain?
Purple splain.
Sorry.
I think it's all kind of ridiculous, to be honest. And at the end of the day, we're all nerds, and the whole point of being a nerd was that we could agree to disagree, or at least have spirited discussions about it. But
Yeah.
that seems to have gone the way of the mammoth and the dodo and all the
Yeah.
other things at the moment. But
We seem to be
think
living in
calmer heads will
bizarro
prevail.
world. I mean, I think we're living in bizarro world, and what I'm waiting for those same channels that love The Last of Us and that love Star Trek Picard, I want them to love the Marvels movie, aka Captain Marvel 2. That will be the last seal to be opened in the book of nerd apocalypse and nerd revelations. You know, behold on a pale horse, I see a shill with Brie Larson's feet. That's what it's gonna be, guys. You know. Anyway. I had to get that off my chest. I got a cool article. You want to see it?
I know. I'm just going to say hey to Kai MFS. Great to see you. And Nosferatu says, Salty definitely has Italian in him. My man's hand signing like a deaf man on a mission.
Hey, Luigi, go get me the Basquiat. Hey, you know,
Hey.
they should have cast me in the Mario movie. I'm like a right-wing alt Chris Pratt level guy, right? Not nearly as handsome, of course, or rich, sadly. But you know what I am glad is I'm not this moron. Jaws of Death. This is a guy who said I was swallowed headfirst by a great white shark. Dun dun. I will never forget what it felt like as it tried to eat me alive.
I should hope not.
Let's take a look at this, gentleman. A diver has revealed the terrifying moment he was swallowed whole. And yes, Australia's involved by a great white shark that tried to eat him alive. Now, this is Eric Neris from Eden, Australia. He's one of the very few people who have ever been inside a great white shark and lived to tell the tale. So he was actually inside it. Look at this guy. Yeah, look at it.
He looks Australian. Yeah.
That guy got
went to the bar and just had himself a beer after.
It's true. I know. He's like,
Probably
yeah.
took
I mean,
shark
this guy,
with him
this
as well.
shark chewed this guy more than I chew my food. Look at this. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, look at that. Look at those hematomas. You got the sharp cuts. Yeah, look at all the scars all over his chest. His face took the brunt. So there we go. There's the money shot. Now, Eric was diving for abalone when he was attacked by a 10-foot great white shark.
What's a little great white shark?
I know, it's tiny, dude. He was in the reef searching for abalone, which is an edible sea snail, which I think is okay, at Cape Howe in New South Wales, Australian, for getting eaten by sharks, rugged southern coastline. He was diving when the great white shark charged him and swallowed his head and torso completely. Now, I'm going to go get an action figure because I believe sometimes we need to have reenactments here.
We need to visualize this one.
We
Absolutely.
visualize what it was like here. So, all right, here we go. So I have my Dune action figure. Okay,
Yep,
so here he is, and he's armed because he's hunting for abalone in Dune, right? So I'm dun, and literally so. Here's the shark. Here's the dude. He's like, oh shit, I'm getting eaten. But can you imagine? You're inside a great white shark. It's just, and then like, dude.
Do Australians not taste very nice? That's why the shark spat him out, or did he realise, you know what? Oh shit, I've swallowed an Aussie. This is bad news. I need to leave the area very quickly.
Yeah. The veteran waterman found himself inside the belly of the 10-foot beast, has its jagged teeth sunk into his body and its jaws clamped shut. The monstrous creature then tried to swallow him, crushing your head and chest, which were only protected by his heavy diving gear. Now, this is going to shock you, but inside the shark, it was pitch black as Eric looked down the back of its throat with his arms out front. So let's go back because I need to correct what I've been doing. So here's Eric. All right, here we go. Here's Eric. And I'm going to switch over because I need to make sure that I'm showing you from. So here's Eric. All right, here's Eric. So The shark he's totally, and we'll try and do a cutaway. So he's in the shark like that much, kicking, okay? And he's looking down inside the shark. How the hell did he get away? That's
Sharks
what I
are
want to know.
essentially a tube, though, aren't they? Because it's just basically
I don't know.
a mouth and then the rest of the body. So
This is one of those mysteries I'm willing to not learn about. Like, what is it like to be inside of a shark? You know what I mean? Just like I don't want to know what it's like to be inside Oprah. It's just like a lot of things I don't want to know what it's like to be inside of.
There's a lot of things you don't want to be in. Yes.
Well, especially don't put your dick in crazy, which is not a metaphor. It's actually words to live by.
Wise advice.
So as its teeth gnashed into his flesh and he started to thrash, Eric was now in the fight of his life. It was a horrific ordeal. Do you think? Now, this incident was obtained by the Sun Online from the Global Shark Accident File.
That's a thing.
Now reveal the horror. It was about 9 o'clock in the morning. He was about 26 feet down near the sea floor. And there you go. We can get all these other stuff, but yeah.
Do we have a quote from the shark? Do we know how the shark's doing?
Yeah. I think he said, I like dark meat. That's what it was. Oh, yeah, whatever. So there we go. You can see the puncture wounds on this guy's, scuba suit. Yeah. So how did he get out? This is the question. Inside the jaws, it was just dark. I couldn't see anything because I was looking down the back of his throat. I've never experienced anything like that, dude. Remarkably, Eric is still alive. The shark's first bite was absorbed by his diving mask, air regulator, and his head. Only the head didn't split open. He broke his nose as well from the pressure of those jaws. Angered that now I think we're really anthropomorphizing the shark. I think we need to hear from the shark. Angered that its prey had not relented, the monster took a wider chomp, pushing the man farther down its throat. Okay, back to visual aids, which is not just watching a Biden press conference. So here we go. So the shark got him like this, right? So then he's like
deep throating an Aussie at this
like
point.
This. It's like oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. That's what we got going on. Aren't you glad you tuned into this channel? We offer nothing but quality programming.
Damn straight.
So he had at least 14 sharp, jagged teeth sunk into him. Okay, those teeth are huge and they're serrated like a steak knife. That's on each one of those teeth. So when they glance onto flesh, it's not just like a regular knife. It's meant to rip and tear. Okay. And it's razor effing sharp. He said, I thought this is the end. This is what it's like to die. Amid his horror, his survivalist instinct kicked in and he felt for the eye socket of the shark while he's inside and started stabbing and beating it. Just as I thought I was getting free, the bottom jaw closed and I felt the teeth sink into the back of my head. Oh my fucking God. And into my skull. I twisted its eye as hard as I could and the shark reacted again and let me go.
I think the shark was like, you know what? It's just not worth it. I've tried to eat an Australian.
It wasn't over. Oh God. The man was now hovering above the sea floor, blood spewing out of multiple lacerations and being tightly circled by the shark with its one remaining glassy eye. The big round eye was staring into my face with not one hint of fear of any boat, human, or any other animal. Eric calmed himself and had to make the daring decision to swim for the boat. He spread his arms and legs in an attempt to alert the shark that it wasn't a seal. I don't think he cares. I just think he was snacky. And dude,
it's a shark.
He's having Australian tonight. He's not interested in seal. So he broke the surface and his son pulled him on board. And look at that, the blood-stained rail from him profusely bleeding out. The dude is lucky.
Thank you to the sun for that one. Yes.
He is very lucky that he did not bleed out while trying to swim up. And a lot of times these wetsuits will actually help if you've had major lacerations like this. They will help keep your blood in place, or at least some of your organs, but they will sometimes prevent you from bleeding out as quickly as if the dude was not wearing that suit
like
at all.
A compression.
Yeah. So you can see You can see all the shark bites on this dude's head, the lacerations and all the other stuff. There's him,
But it's got
chewed
one
up.
hell of a story to tell.
Yeah. He required 75 surgeries to stitch him back together. 75. It's almost as much surgery as Madonna had to look like a Cabbage Patch doll. It's kind of weird when you think about it.
So many things. But
And we're gonna.
Did the shark learn its lesson? Did it ever attack anybody else again? Or did the two make up? Did they go for a drink? Did they let bygones be bygones? I need closure to this story.
I don't think you're gonna get it, Purple Valkyrie. You're just gonna have to live and let live with that badass shark. That poor Australian bastard. I just thought that was crazy, and I don't normally just bring up random things. I think there were a lot of things that stood out about that. This is one of the very few cases when you see somebody who's been essentially starting to be chomped up by a freaking great white that got away or didn't die like in the water because of the amount of trauma that's caused. The fact this dude lived.
Does that come down to people's fight or flight response? Because most people will fight like hell when it really comes down to it. We've had stories of people fighting off sharks, bears, mountain lions, pretty much anything that tries to take a bite out of you.
Communism, the globalists, pedophiles. Yeah. Bill Gates. Oh, I already said that one.
Smiler says, acting out news stories with Salty might be my favorite stream now.
Yeah, I don't want to get on a Snowdub's side of the street with like sock puppets, but I might have to do that. I might have to do that for globalists, like you zoo and eat the bugs, with a little, a really white sock with a Nazi costume
the
on.
Bugs.
Yeah.
Let me say hey to a couple more people. Oh, there he goes. Look, see, he's fine. He's in one piece. He's
you,
not
shark. All right, sorry.
We've got Lord Thoth, great to see you. We've got Master of the TDS. Hello, great to see you as well. Hope you guys are doing well. We've got Sentient Dildo, good to see you. Hello there, and we've got Wakazashi and DJ Ronnie G. Hello, and Pod Racing Palpatine. Guys, great to see you. Hey,
please hit that thumbs up. If you have $1 or $2 to send Purple Valkyrie, she would appreciate it. She puts a lot of work into these shows, and I'm not telling you to give people money. I'm not begging. I don't see one dime of it. Just send a super sticker if you got $1 or something like that. It really helps people out. You don't have to do it for me, but I really think Purple is one of the best voices we have in this.
Thank you.
I hate to even use the word fellowship anymore because I think it's tainted, but just this group of nerds that like to hang out and have fun and laugh.
We do have a great group of people. And let me say a big thank you to Miss Martin Muses. Hello, lovely. She sends us a super sticker of a rose. Thank you so much. And I've got a member chat that I missed. My apologies. Rod Thunderheart, who's been with us for 16 months. And he says, Purple, what would you do if you could turn invisible? I would take some time off work and I would try to catch up on my sleep because I'm not getting a lot of it at the moment.
You and I both, okay? I'm getting up at 5:30 every morning, and because I have a client that is on a different time zone than what I am. Yeah, and the problem is probably like the rest of you, when it gets to be about 11:30, I'm like, oh shit, Star Trek is on, right? Ooh, I'm gonna pour all this bourbon and I'm gonna sit on the sofa, and then guess what? You got to get up at 5:30 in the morning. There's no time machine. That's the problem I've been having. Is why are you showing the thing now? It's 10:30 at night. I had to sit through all this other bullshit or turn the TV off, and it's now you're putting cool nerd shit on. It's good.
They're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, just like the shit they're spraying in the sky. How's it by you? It's like tic-tac-toe every day, guys. Where I am, everywhere. Just everywhere. And you can feel it because the sun feels a lot hotter than it used to. Whenever they do that stuff, which they say is not happening, but the UN has said they're doing, but you can't talk about it because it's a conspiracy, even though they said you see what I'm...
You can see where we're going with this.
Go ahead, Purple. I'm going to shut up.
Funny you should mention about the skies, because the next article that I wanted to cover is actually one that Salty Frown had sent me. So this is about UFOs, but there's a couple more comments. You guys are awesome. Lord Prof says, Salty has energy. Check his energy drinks. Darn straight. It's just
Just
talent.
coffee.
Just
Just
talent
coffee.
and coffee.
Just coffee. And rage. If I don't let this rage out, it's going to turn into depression. Okay. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Use creativity, use your hands, go for walks, be in nature, because the second this is done, I am outside and I walk in the woods every day, 4 to 5 miles. You know why? To get away from this, not from you guys, but from this technology, social media. Get out in the woods, go for a walk,
Have a cleanse.
be human, be human. And then I've been trying to come home and do crafts, like legitimately do crafts, and not just like flip through Amazon and all this other bullshit and Tubi and other stuff and consume. It helps a lot. The other thing is diet, and that doesn't involve fake meat and eating the bugs and processed food and all the other shit out there. It does make a difference. I'm no spring chicken, and I can tell you, good cardio and having some decent food and lots of good water, it's about all you can do. I mean, we're all going to die someday. I'm just in no hurry to do it in a horrifyingly slow way. I'd rather be eaten
by a shark.
Rather be eaten by, like this guy. Only I think I would swim deeper into the shark at this point if we're going to see Biden stick around for round 2. Just to say that.
Sweet shark. Come back. We got missed by that meteor as well, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. I'll show you. I'll be back. Purple, read your article.
I will do.
Smile.
Yeah, smile a while. It's you'll go grab it because it's impressive. But let me jump back to this because this is from the bastion of truth and honest journalism, obviously the Mirror in the UK. But it says British region on UFO alerts. They're starting again with 42 sightings reported in 12 months. So the southeast, the northwest, and the southwest, those are more than one region, as you can clearly see, will come out on top of unearthly sightings chart for 2022. So this actually was from a few days ago, but they're still covering 2022 because that's how backwards
it's the UK. It's
the
UK. We're just lucky they're not reporting shit that happened in the 70s, guys. So give it a break, all right?
We're trying our best, damn it. We're doing what we can. So
I blame the metric system.
And now this is interesting. The Midlands is challenging the southeast as the UK's hotspot for UFO sightings. New data shows it is indeed. There are weird things in the sky at the moment. I will admit that. There were 42 separate sightings reported during 2022 alone in the region, according to researchers. Now, researchers should probably be in quotations. It's just people wandering around with their phones. But that's what they're claiming.
Citizen journalists.
I'd still trust it more than actual journalism at this point. But it says, despite the spike, the area still lags behind the southeast, northwest, and southwest of England when it comes to official reports lodged. That's just the official reports. So UFO researchers compile data using Freedom of Information requests. Along with local and national media reports, according to Birmingham Live. So we've got some nice graphics. You know how much I love a good graphic. So this is what they're seeing. So the biggest one is, unsurprisingly, a star-like object. Most likely they were stars. I don't know. People just don't look at the sky anymore, apparently.
Like David Bowie?
I wish.
Like Mork? E.T. Alf.
I think people are
you're
just
talking about
really,
like stars.
actual stars. People are just really, really confused by looking up because they're too busy looking at the phones.
Shit.
16% said they were orbs. Now, we get a lot of orbs, but usually orbs are in connection with more kind of paranormal and ghostly things, so rather than things that you see floating around in the sky. Then we had circular, I don't know, discs, UFOs, flying saucers.
Yeah, we had those too. They were floating over Canada and Montana and then Ohio.
Then it went dark and you lost them. Yeah.
But it was dark outside, and the Pentagon said we can't find things in the dark, and then they couldn't find any wreckage. Look that up. That's real. That's
legit. I like how they put shapes in the middle of this. It's like, that toy that kids used to have where you have to hammer
It's
the
a
little
fidget
blocks.
spinner.
Yeah.
It's a fidget spinner. You know what else it looks like? You know, those of you in the United States, if you used to watch the Frosty the Snowman, like it was like it's what the
They are the
claymation
misfit toys.
the claymation snowman would ride down the hill, and they were trying to sell the Norelco razors. Or am I just totally? Never mind.
That's nostalgia right there, people. That's nostalgia. Let's see what else they were claiming to see. So they said oval, discs, triangles, spheres, and cylinders. Now, cylinders, if you've been paying attention, have been popping up quite a bit in conjunction with these supposed balloons that are hanging around at the moment. But
with
let's
the
see.
big platforms that totally aren't the Chinese spying on us with tech that they stole from us because they've infiltrated all of our defense industry. Totally not that, Purple Velvet. Totally not.
So the area where I am, so the West Midlands, which comprises of Birmingham, Wolverhampton, Dudley, Sandwell, Walsall, Solihull and Coventry, there were 17 reported sightings last year, which is kind of cool. So, but yeah, this is the breakdown, and again, another very lackluster graphic. Thank you for that, guys. But again, the southeast of England is way ahead with 75 reported sightings last year. Now, what people are seeing, who knows? Are they seeing anything at all? Are they making it up? Are they confused by seeing stars? Which is, you know, let's face it, at this point, quite possible.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But apparently Manchester has a lot as well, which doesn't surprise me, followed by London with 20. Now, I don't think you can see anything in the sky in London because it's far too much light pollution. So, yeah, you're probably just seeing drones in that case. But, yeah, that's what they say, and nobody really kind of cares, or nobody's really that interested. But what were they? It says, were they weather balloons for commercial use, or possibly spy aircraft? Ding, ding, ding. Were they man-made or extraterrestrial, or are people just making this up completely? Who knows at this point? Who knows? But we've talked about what's most likely to come next, and watch out for the fake alien invasion.
It's starting. Well, we're reaching the phase that Werner von Braun talked about on his deathbed when he spoke with his research assistant from MIT, who was there during his last days, talking about what was going to happen. We've talked about it on numerous shows. I will say this. He said the last act of all of this to push global governance and population control is when they say we need to have war in space. We need to put weapons in space. We need to have nuclear weapons in space. Interestingly enough, and I didn't bring it up on this because I didn't want to talk about it on this show, I want to do some more research, was that the United States has now said that the next war is going to be fought in space. So we're going to have to spend a whole bunch of effing money to put shit in space. So then we can have the fake aliens show up. So then we can have global government. So then we can all go to neo-feudalism and eat bugs and fake meat. And there won't be boys and girls anymore. There won't be families. We'll all be growing in test tubes, and it'll be a fucking paradise. It'll be a fucking utopia. It's going to be perfect.
Perfect. Absolutely. Exactly what we needed. Yeah.
Everything was fine. Everything was fine. All right, I'm going to show off what I made.
You show what you've made, because it is awesome.
This is I made this. This is a leather pouch, and this has actually got a paperback in it. I'm using it to help the leather form, and I made this. I cut it and sew it and everything else, and I got to clean it up. But I'm making things like this because I wanted to get out of my head and get off this goddamn thing.
Yes.
No offense, but
I not cannot, easy. Yes.
I cannot absorb what is going on Twitter or even the websites that I trust anymore, because Purple and I talk about it. I talk about it with a lot of other YouTube creators about my size. Can't. I just can't anymore. You know what I mean? Because it's so obvious now. It's all so obvious. That stuff in Nashville, just all of it, you know, like, I can't anymore because I'm not I have an above room temperature IQ. I also know what they're going to do because they've told us they're going to do it, and now they're doing it. And it's just like, what can I do about it? and I'm not even going to say the one thing I think I can do, but that I don't have a very good long lifespan after that happens, and we're just going to park that right there. Okay. So what can I do? I can be a good person. I can keep
Mhm.
my word. I can try and lift people up, and I can try and take care of myself and those people who I care about. And I think at this point, until things start happening like are going on in France, which you are not seeing, are you?
Oh,
You don't see our media reporting what has been going on in France for 7 days.
Paris is on fire at the moment.
You don't see
Literally.
what's going on in Israel, do you? Do you? I mean, literally, civil war. You don't see what's going on in the Netherlands, do you? Do you even know what happened in the Netherlands with the election and how they kicked the globalists' asses that are pushing all of this same shit? They don't want you to know. That's not an accident, okay? So, I don't know. Am I sticking my head in the sand? No. What I'm saying is that I'm drawing a line. I know where I'm going to die. They know where to find me. And in the meantime, I'm going to hang out, have some bourbon, and just try and enjoy good entertainment. And make cool stuff, Make cool stuff. Like, this is going to
That
be
is cool.
So, yeah.
I love
And those
that.
of you who doubt my nerd cred, let's go deep. Let's go deep into the David Eddings. How many of you even know what the hell that is? Okay, so there we go. I just want to
I
flash my.
bet
I'm going to
there's
flash
a
my
few.
nerd, my
I bet
big
there's a
nerd.
few in the chat.
On that one.
Just
So,
whip it out there.
excuse me while I whip this out.
We've got a few more super chats. You guys are amazing. Thank you. And we've got a member chat from DJ Ronnie G, who has been with us for 18 months. Thank you,
Hells
love.
yes.
He says, I dedicate this member chat to my turtles. Well, hello to your turtles. I love them. I think they're awesome.
Do they have a rat who is their mentor and sensei in karate? And do they have little katanas? You said turtles, right? Or am I?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Turtles.
So everybody got that. Right? Everybody.
I want a turtle. I'm
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
I've got off on a tangent. And DJ Ronnie G also sends us a super chat. Thank you. Says, I need to ride my bike before sunset. I do crafts too that involve building stuff for my turtles. Awesome.
Dude, I love that. I want to see you guys make this stuff. I love this. We should do a crafting stream again, Purple.
Yes. Yes, please.
When you make stuff like this, it's pretty tedious. I'm just going to say that. And there's a lot of cursing sometimes. But, when you get to, it takes a lot to go from like this is one sheet to all these stitches and everything else like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not particularly exciting. It's not like poof, it's instantly done. That's like 3 days. Like I'll be on work calls or at night when I'm watching like Sherlock Holmes or Star Trek and stuff like that. It's methodical. And but I would love to see what you guys do in Purple. You're going to be doing some interesting crafting stuff too.
Yes, indeed. I was actually shopping earlier for the thing that I want to do. So keep your eyes peeled. We're going to do more chill craft streams because I think you guys seem to like that, and we certainly do. It's a nice change of pace, I think is the best way to put it. But it says keep the woo woo coming. I love these shows. Thank you so much.
Now I'm gonna watch that show. I got that in my brain. Thanks a lot.
Stuck in your head.
What are the names of your turtles? Do I even need to ask, dude? Do I even need to ask, or is it like that'd be cool if they were?
That would be awesome. We've got the John Becker. Great to see you as always. He sends us a $2 super chat. Thank you. He says he can prove his fish story with his scars. Absolutely, those are some impressive scars.
Mary Moffat, she broke my heart. Oh, very well, oh you do, Spanish ladies. Oh, very well, you ladies of Spain. Best movie ever.
Great movie. And now I want to watch Jules. Damn it. We've got TZ Burton. Great to see you, TZ. He says, a warm thank you, Purple, for the woo-woo talk. Salty, less coffee, brother. Thank you, love. Always good to see you.
Only 10 cups, and I started at 5:30 this morning, and I'm drinking the last cup now. Now, not 10 of these cups. It says 10 cups on the coffee maker, which is like bullshit, right? Because it's like those are like, so it's like 4 cups total. It's like 4 of these cups, this is a man's cup. You know what I mean? This is what a man drinks coffee in. It's like you need about this much just to open your eyes.
Just to get it going in the morning. Pod Racing Palpatine says, is that made from human skin?
Oh boy, so many jokes I want to make. No. No, it's
No.
also not made from the skin of something that gave artificial meat or a woolly mammoth. Although it would be really cool for us to genetically bring back woolly mammoths just so we can kill them, eat them, and then I can make cool shit out of their skin.
Oh
Get
yes.
behind that.
Speaking of which, Cavaltanio, Cameraman Shay, great to see you, says, have you all seen the picture of the woolly mammoth meatball? Well, we covered that at the beginning of the show. Made from meat grown from cells from a frozen one found recently. Yes.
Yeah.
It's,
Yes, we did.
It's nightmare fuel. But yes, you are absolutely correct. We did talk about that earlier on in the show. Good call.
Yeah.
God, you guys are going crazy.
Good.
DJ
Let me know if you need me to
said,
vamp.
I bet punching leather is very satisfying. Absolutely.
Yes.
And he's named his turtles. It's Pathy, Squirtle, and Londo.
I love it. That sounds like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the next generation, right? You know what I mean? Where they're living in an apocalypse, a Twilight world apocalypse of eating bugs and pronouns, where no one is reproducing, and communism doesn't work, and there are robot dogs with shotguns on them from General Dynamics. Totally not what's going on, right? Totally not.
Totally not. No, and AI is not taking over at all. No. But Psycho Dwarf, good to see you, says, Purple, Salty, do I need to do a chill stream making a ghillie suit? You certainly can.
Oh. That would be cool. I'm just gonna say that
would be awesome.
Just like I didn't say a lot of things, but that would be cool. So yeah.
And DJ Runnergy says Londo's the only one I named. The rest had names when I adopted them. Very cool. Salty, how are you doing for time? Because I know we wanted to kind of keep it to about an hour.
I'm fine. I got another article which I think is ridiculous.
Cool. We'll do this one and then I'll save the one that I've got to next time because
we can go as long as you want. This is going to be quick. This will be 1 minute. This is one. Oh, Jesus Christ. Look at that furniture. Shit I'd never buy. So again, this comes from the British tabloid press, who, if you can't trust them, F off with your, look at how many ads are on this goddamn thing. All right. So apparently this says first ever case of a human being struck down by a plant fungus. This is apparently a healthy Indian mushroom hunter was left with an agonizing abscess in his windpipe due to a plant to human disease transmission.
Where have we seen that recently?
Well, it wasn't in that shitty show, which was nothing but a platform for globalist dog shit called The Last of Us, but there was a good video game called The Last of Us Part 1 where that did happen. It's a man from India. Have you guys noticed this? There's a lot of crazy shit going on in India because of all the things that they produce there that they don't regulate. A lot of pollution that has caused a significant amount of genetic abnormalities, which you're not hearing about. Not to mention the Gates Foundation came through there and jabbed everybody up with polio vaccine. How do you think that one ended? They got polio. Just so there's a lot of interesting things going over there. So this guy, look at this. An Indian mushroom hunter caught a fungal disease because he ate a mushroom. He got flu-like symptoms and had difficulty swallowing for 3 months. Baffled doctors carried out scans that showed he had an abscess in his windpipe.
Wow.
So surgeons drained the pus from his windpipe, and it revealed he had caught the same diseases in The Last of Us. No, he had caught this disease here. There it is. So, now this fungus causes silver leaf disease in plants, which is spread by airborne spores and turns plants' leaves the metallic color of silver before slowly killing them. That's what the bacteria looks like. Why this is interesting is the first time this has been documented. Now, who knows what the hell else this guy was doing, what else he was swallowing, eating, what water he was drinking, what other environmental conditions and what other things were taxing his immune system while this happened.
Yep.
Why this is interesting is that the actual disease, which is a fungal plant disease, it was transmitted from flora to human for one of the first times we've seen in a while. Now, this man who hasn't been named had been working with decaying material. Yeah, see, mushrooms and always have to read a little deeper into this.
Just scratch
Various
below the surface.
plant fungi for a long time. The case raises serious questions because it proves the infection can affect both healthy as well as immunocompromised individuals. Again, when you are surrounded constantly with toxic environments and working with things that are already taxing your immune system, and something is eventually going to happen. Now, it may not happen right away. The fact this guy was 61 years old, I think, is also contributing. But you don't know if this guy smoked 4 packs of cigarettes a day and chug pop off, every day. We don't know these things. So immunocompromised, again, not everybody lives with the same air quality, water quality, food quality, and other things, or has been experimented on by billionaires who are eugenicists. So maybe that had something to do with it. But I just wanted to share that. Yeah, they had an X-ray on this guy. I wish they had a picture of him with this big abscess in there.
Yes.
But they don't.
Is our friend okay now? Did he recover, or is he still suffering?
I think he turned into one of those bloaters like you saw in the video game The Last of Us.
His head just opens up. It's a freaky world. You get eaten by sharks. You get eaten by fungi.
No! That's how I feel every day for 9 hours with this.
True story.
And then I look at the news and I see the geniuses, the most popular president ever. What's going on there? So
ice cream. Yeah.
Hi, it's so good to see everybody, by the way. Purple, it's awesome to see you too.
You guys are amazing as always. I think I've got time for one more. This is a pretty short one, so I will share it.
I think so.
Since we've got time. Here we go. So I would like to tell you guys the story of the Hexham heads. Now, I like to put up weird, just little kind of tidbits that we have in the UK.
No, not you, Purple. Really?
Occasionally. So this story comes back from 1971. 2 young boys were digging in the back garden of their family home at 3 Reed Avenue in Hexham in Northumberland. Deep in the soil. That is. Here we are. Deep in the soil, they unearthed 2 small stone carved heads, which they, of course, immediately brought into the house. Because what else would you do? Would you like to see what these things look like? Of course you would. That's what they dug up, and that's what they brought into the house.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Is this story have a happy ending? I don't think
No, it doesn't. Okay. Funnily enough. So I will switch to the Wikipedia because it's actually a more concise story to give you the idea. So the heads, once they brought it in, all manner of weirdness actually started to happen. Allegedly, they had they had things like things being moved around the house, bottles being thrown across the room of them. The Dodd family, who were their next door neighbours, also reported the phenomena, even though they had absolutely nothing to do with it. Apparently, one of their sons' hair was pulled during the night, and the mother actually reported seeing a half-man, half-goat figure leaving the house shortly afterwards. Now,
I have a question.
Yes.
So this is 1971.
1971.
Your man Salty was 1 year old, so I missed out on the party that was the polyester drug-fueled sex romp of the 70s, okay? Making Benny Hill look tame. But was there any sort of predilection toward events like this being reported in the UK back then, or no?
Not exactly. We've always had weirdness. Usually it is to do with ghosts, so people will report hauntings or poltergeists. That's a really big thing that we have over here. As Psychodor says, stick a shovel anywhere in the UK and you can get archaeology. This is very true. Obviously, Richard III was found under a car park, which I'm guessing he was pretty pissed about.
Wait, that's Elizabeth Burton's. That's Richard Burton. That's Elizabeth Taylor's second husband, right? chat. It's right. That's Elizabeth Taylor's second
Back him
husband.
up,
Right? Sorry,
yes.
I know archaeology and British history. All right, I know that. That's Elizabeth Taylor's second husband. All right, sorry, Purple. Go ahead.
The chat says, Sarah Green says, half man, half goat. That was Mr. Tumnus.
Thank you very much.
And let me say hello to Snorter Poopers. Great to see you, as always. He says, half man, half goat. Sounds a bit like my neighbour. Yeah, let's see what else that this weirdness happened. So, the half man, half goat vacated the house, apparently. Why he was there in the first place doesn't say, but I bet she was glad to see him go. The heads were subsequently then given away to a lady by the name of Anne Ross, who is an expert on Celtic artifacts. According to Ross's own account, she woke up one morning and saw a half wolf, part man walking out of the room.
Okay, that's cooler. That's cooler than the half goat, because the half goat's like, who gives a shit? Get the shotgun. But the half man, half goat, I'm gonna go hang out with. I want to party with you, cowboys. Like, that's my kind of guy. All right.
I'd like to know what's with all these half human, half animal things hanging around people's houses, but it doesn't say. So apparently she saw that walking out of a room. She followed it downstairs, as you do, saw it heading towards the direction of the kitchen, and then lost track of it.
Where else would the half wolf man go other than to say, bitch, make me a sandwich? Okay, that's obviously where the story goes. Or did I ruin the punchline?
He had the munchies, absolutely. Why you would follow it downstairs into the kitchen and then subsequently lose track of it, I don't know. I would have been out the front door, but that's just me. It also says a few days later, her daughter, when returning from school, saw a large, dark, werewolf-like figure on the stairs.
That's so much cooler than a goat. I'm sorry.
It really is. That then jumps over the banister into a corridor and then vanished.
But his hair was perfect. Ow! Werewolves in London. Ow!
Oh, it gets weirder. So the wolf is believed to have some relation to the Hexham wolf, which I will probably cover next time, which apparently killed a lot of livestock in the winter of 1904. Ross reported feeling a cold presence. The door was probably open. Her study door then burst open with no apparent cause, and another weird sighting was seen. This time it was just a dark figure, she described. You'd think after all this, people would have had an absolute enough, but she was apparently made of sterner stuff, and she was convinced that the phenomena was attached to these Hexham heads. The incidents allegedly stopped, though, when she removed the two Celtic heads out of the house, and then they went elsewhere. But it does actually get weirder. So a man by the name of
weirder.
Desmond Craigie said that he was actually the person who made the heads. He made them in 1956 for his daughter. Again, I will say, look at those pictures. Does that look like something you'd make for your daughter? I don't think so. And when he was living in the house, he then buried them along with a third head, which had become damaged, and then he threw it away. I'm not convinced, to be honest. He says that he worked for a company that dealt in concrete at the time. He allegedly created the heads, made some replicas to demonstrate his claim. However, these replicas did not look anything like the originals, so I'm calling BS on that one.
I don't believe that. I think this guy's full of shit. And here's the thing. I can believe some wackadoodle, like, couple who's smoking wacky weed, it's 1971 and listening to the Allman Brothers. Lord, I was trying, like that whole thing, But
these
the
kids
Celtic
have got
mythology research, could they look any more English? That's what I. So, but the Celtic researcher who's saying that, like, I've got a half wolfman in my kitchen.
Yep.
Even in 1972, 1973, that type of thing. I mean, I don't know, in the UK, you guys got ghosts and fucking werewolves and vampires and all this other stuff running around all the time. Apparently, this is just normal. But I don't know. It's weird because when you look at the way those heads are constructed, they do seem Bronze Age. They seem consistent with Bronze Age deity, Bronze Age types of what do they call them? Familiars and other designs
Yeah,
like that.
familiars, yes, anything totems, I guess you would call them as well. No, apparently one looks more masculine and one looks more feminine, it says. So
Hmm?
one looks more like a hag, it's described as.
So
Uh,
Hillary, one looks like Hillary,
I was
and
going
the
to say
other one looks
Madonna,
like Bill.
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, okay.
But there is a twist to the end of this because there always is with these stories. The original heads were then given to another guy, but he and the heads vanished, and their whereabouts are currently unknown. So
Well, when
nobody
you give
knows
a
what
random
happened to him.
stranger head
Mm.
twice, you never know how it's gonna end.
So there
Oh,
we
he went there. He went
hey.
there.
So here's a more
Oh,
detailed
Jesus.
sketch of what it looks like. So this was supposedly the male with the hair kind of carved in at the back, and this was the female, supposedly.
I just, God, I miss the days. I mean, we have a beautiful story right here that
Mhm.
if this was a normal timeline, if they made it in the 80s or the 90s or the early 2000s, they could turn this into a cool movie, right? I mean, just this story would be a cool movie. Now, if they tried to make it, it would be like overrepresented with this minority, with this amount of diversity, and and an allegory for climate change and for eating bugs and too many people and welcoming immigrants. And it's like, this is just a cool story. Can we just have a cool story? No,
This is a
can't.
cool story. I really like this story, and this is Dr. Anne Ross. She looks like she'd take on a werewolf, doesn't she?
She takes she looks like she'd take a little bit of gin too. Maybe a little gin. It's after 10, love. Would you pour Mum a couple of fingers of the Gibleys, please? Couple fingers. Me house is haunted by these two heads. Nanny saw a wolfman go down the stairs to go into the ladder. Now I'm turning Australian. I believe her. I believe her.
I believe her. Yeah. I wouldn't want to
Believe
buy the house that she lived in after, just in case the werewolf decided to come back. But
I'll tell you what would be
that's just
harder
me.
is the perma coating of nicotine probably on those white walls. You know what I mean? Like you just would have to repaint over it because I mean they were some smoking drinking people back then, which I
Mhm.
approve of.
And proof that this was actually a thing here is from the Sunday People from January 13th, 1974, the myth of the evil heads. So yeah, this was a legit. You can definitely look it up if you want to look it up. But that's pretty much it. So it says, yeah, the mythical heads. Again, the guy claimed to have made them. I don't think he did because
Look at
they
that
don't
guy.
look much like the original heads.
He's full of shit. You can see it in his eyes.
Yeah, he's making it up. But yeah, when scrutinised, it says the replicas were subpar to the originals, not the same quality, which
Sounds
judging
like
by the-
Disney Star Wars. Sounds like Disney Star.
judging by the less than artistic qualities of the original, was quite a feat in itself. Yeah. However, to flip the story once more, it concludes after analysis by Professor Dearman of the University of Newcastle. He believed the heads to have been artificially moulded, much like the concrete methods, rather than carved from solid rock. But as I said, we will never know because they actually disappeared, and they were never to be seen again. So who knows? Somewhere sitting, somebody made one out of potato for whatever reason. I think that's hilarious.
Still better modeling work than the MCU Phase 5. All right? This is the spoiler alert. Yeah.
So heads up anyone in the UK, these ugly little heads that apparently attract werewolves and weregoats and entities of God knows what else are still floating around. So yeah, if you do see a little about the size of a tennis ball head, it's probably best just to leave it where you found it, really.
Oh, I'm picking that shit up. I got no fear of that. Salty's gonna die. I'm gonna die because some crazy transdimensional half werewolf dude eats me. Dude, that's win. That is total win in my book. I win life. Okay. How did Salty die? Well, did you hear? He got ate by a fucking werewolf, and it's like, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really okay with that.
That's a pretty good way to go out, to be fair.
It's a lot better than what they got planned for us, you know? Like, just gonna say, like, that would be epic. And I can use my big ass sword, which I got over here. Like, I can go out in a blaze of glory.
Hell
you know?
yes.
Play like
Yes.
Van Halen or Iron Maiden. Run to the hills. You know what I mean? Fighting a werewolf. Tell me that is not a worthy death.
That is an awesome death. No, I'd say that's a much better death than falling into a great white shark and then poking it in the eye and the shark deciding, you know what, I've had enough of this.
75 surgeries, dude.
Yeah.
75 surgeries. This has been fun.
This has been fun. You guys are amazing. And Salty, thank you. Thank you for bringing
I
those
needed
articles.
today. I needed to let all the rage out. I just, because this has been building all week, and I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean?
It's like venting steam. It's got to be done as our heads explode like scanners.
Yeah.
Have you got anything you'd like to share before we let everyone get on with the rest of their Thursday?
No, I'm thinking about doing a live stream this weekend.
Cool.
If people would like that, let me know in chat. We're not going to end on a down note, but we'll just say that. And those of you, check out Nerdporial Lifeform tonight. He's going to be on with Prophet of the Dragon. I think they're going to be doing a live watch of the Not Star Trek show. And I really respect the work that Brian Nerdporial's doing in reviewing this show, because he's somebody who desperately wanted this show to be good. And I wanted this show to be good. We all want this shit to be good. But when it's not, it's okay to say it's not. And there are those people that are out there saying that they're using this to play victim all of a sudden because they were the ones who said that it was, the second coming of Star Trek. And in my opinion, it's most definitely not. I think the problem, is that seeing a lot of people that I think a lot of us respect agreeing with that opinion, I think that's worthy of discussion. I was going to say that. So I'm Salty Traveling C. I have a lot of fun with Purple Valkyrie. Please hit that thumbs up button. Thank you so much for the super chats. Thanks for laughing. Thank you for putting up with me. Please search out small content creators who tell you what they really feel, not what everyone else has told them to say. So, yeah.
And just before we go, let me say a big thank you to Ian Seforth. Great to see you. Good evening. He said, we found it was a subpar version of the original. As far as we can make out, it was titled Batwoman and never saw the light of day.
I swear to God, because my glasses are dirty, I thought it said it was Titty Batwoman and we never saw the light of day. That's where Salty's head is at.
Hey, I'll take it.
Ian.
Thank you, Ian Seforth. You guys are amazing. You guys are the best. Huge thank you to the master of the esoteric, Salty. Always a pleasure to do these. We love.
I'd like to thank the Academy as well. So.
And the props. Thank you for the props.
No action figures were hurt during the deep throating shark simulation.
You guys are the best. Huge thank you to all of you who joined us today. You guys are on fire as always. Thank you to everybody who sent super chats, member chats, super stickers. It is very greatly appreciated. We will hopefully be back on the weekend to do something fun. But until then, have a fantastic rest of your day. Please check out your favorite content creators, because people are working very, very hard at the moment to combat what YouTube is doing, and
which is not good. And we'll just leave it there. YouTube is messing with a lot of people, and it's also rewarding people for doing things that aren't very cool. We're just gonna say that. So thanks for showing up today.
Have a great day, and we will see you again very, very soon. Take care, guys.
Like pina colada.